In Skyrim Survival, the races have new passive abilities. The Wood Elf, Dark Elf, and High Elf now resist fatigue. The Argonian has a weakness to cold, but can eat raw meat. The Orc resists hunger, fatigue, and cold. I have been playing as an Orc named Agranot Gromalog. You might recognize that name from the Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Hail, friend. I don't believe I've ever seen you down here in the Bloodworks before. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Agranot Gromalog. Most people just call me the Grey Prince.
For the Empire!
The Nord resists the cold. The Khajiit can eat raw meat and also resists the cold. Because they have fur and a tail, which is pretty cool. So thought I'd start another playthrough, this time as a nomadic Khajiit. On my Orc I was playing the Empire, so I'm definitely going to be Stormcloak gang this time around.
Ulfric Stormcloak.
My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you say the same?
Next, the cat!
Here it is again. Did you hear that?
Benefit to playing as a Khajiit is the ability to eat raw meat. So you'll always find food, but raw meat and other crops like cabbage and potatoes. Those are made using a cooking spit into meals that satisfy more hunger points. But you'll always be able to find food if you go for a swim. And of course everyone is super stoked about the Saints and Seducers Shivering Isles questline with the Khajiit Caravans.
It is all in this note. An astute question, for we are far from home, and this is a cold, hard land. The wise trader finds the best opportunities, even if he must travel far to find them. Skyrim is a ripe opportunity indeed. The dragons and the war have scared many other traders away, but for those with courage, there is much profit to be made. Take a look.
Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry, if they're willing to work hard. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill.
Lead on.
I love survival games, and I love the Elder Scrolls. So, Skyrim Survival is so immersive. Before you head out on a long adventure, you have to make sure that you sleep and eat.
Honest pay for honest work. Honest pay for honest work. You should buy some produce from Carlotta's stall. Most of it comes from my farm.
One very easy way to make money and feed your character early in the game is to harvest the crops around the city of Whiterun.
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Never is.
Salt is a currency of the game. There is a lot of salt to be had in the city of Riften, inside of the barrels. Backpacks
Don't forget to check
increase your carrying weight, and
inside the shop if you need anything.
there's different types of backpacks
Right
for
strong.
a thief or a mage. For a survival character where you can't fast travel, getting a horse as soon as possible. I sold my boots to buy a horse. In survival mode, you're going to be traveling a lot by carriage. But to do that, you also must have the coin.
May your road lead you to warm sands.
But once I had a horse, I could hunt using mounted combat to acquire leather. The warm-cold dynamic of survival mode makes it so exploring the Pale, exploring the city of Windhelm, and those northern cities where the air is treacherously cold. And your character will eventually become numb and frostbitten in what already is
We're here to teach you a
a
lesson.
Wild West.
This'll teach you not to take
Suddenly becomes so much more dangerous and in that way immersive.
belong to you. No more. I yield.
Enough! This ends now!
And so, even when you're fishing within the city limits of Windhelm, you are still battling the elements.
They have families to think of.
How many of their sons and daughters follow your banner? We are their families.
Well put, friend.
I fight for we few who did come home, only to find our country full of strangers wearing familiar faces. I fight for my people, impoverished to pay the debts of an empire too weak to rule them, yet brands them criminals for wanting to rule themselves. I fight so that all the fighting I've already done hasn't been for nothing. I fight because I must.
Your words give voice to what we all feel, Ulfric. And that's why you will be High King.
Only the foolish or the courageous approach a Jarl without summons. Do I know you? Ah, yes. Destined for the chopping block, if I'm not mistaken. A fair point. Well, you've come to the right place then. Speak with Galmar. I'm always looking for able fighters. Not everyone can say they made it out of Helgen. Seems we're all branded villains these days.
But first, tell me, why does a cat want to fight for Skyrim? Can't fault anyone for that. As long as you hate the Empire as much as I do, that I can work with.
I welcome you, friend. How may I serve you? Quite the opposite, in fact. The soldiers are some of our best customers, for we offer supplies and wares they cannot obtain by other means. It was Risad's idea to come here now, while the land is in turmoil. Where others saw only danger, he saw opportunity. Take a look.